I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And today on our podcast, our question is, if my partner has had a breakup from years ago and it's too painful to talk about, even now, should I be worried that he's not over her? I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And today on our podcast, our question is, if my partner has had a breakup from years ago and it's too painful to talk about, even now, should I be worried that he's not over her? A really good question.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think?
I think that he's probably over her. I think, to be honest, I think she's probably getting in her head too much, and she's trying to dig something up that doesn't need to be dug up.
That's a good point. I think that I think in some cases you're right. I think as well, not just women, I think all of us have the tendencies of, getting in our head a little bit too much, especially as a woman. I know that, sometimes I think men don't realize that when you get really quiet and you don't want to talk about something, we kind of instantly go to a bad place. We start thinking things like, oh, it's because, he's still in love with her, or, he doesn't want to be with me, or whatever. It kind of will spiral out of control. And I think maybe in this situation, it kind of sounds like the same thing. I think that she's feeling kind of insecure because whatever has happened in this relationship, he isn't talking about, and she's not understanding why, and I think she's taking it kind of personally. I do agree, though, that what you're saying is I think that he probably has had whatever happened in the past that is something that was really painful and hard for him to deal with, and he probably doesn't want to talk about it again. I agree. I don't think it has anything to do with the person he was with. I don't think that he still has feelings for her or anything. I think he just doesn't want to relive something that was really bad.
Mm-hmm. I know that me being a guy, I don't like to be hounded over and over on what's wrong or what happened, all that stuff, because I think that whatever happened in the past is where it needs to stay. That's why they call it the past.
Right.
They don't call it the past and then dig it up again later.
Good, true. Yeah. I feel like it's probably the same thing. I think it's that I don't think it has anything to do with either women, to be honest. I think that he just probably doesn't want to relive that, and he probably doesn't feel comfortable talking about whatever this thing is that happened. And I think that she's probably kind of putting herself into this kind of a situation that doesn't need to be happening. She's kind of including herself in like a relationship she was never part of or even around. And so my advice basically would be is to let it go. If you really are uncomfortable, maybe ask him why he doesn't want to talk about it. Maybe he'll be a little bit more open to telling you that there. It could be that he's just not comfortable talking about it. He can say, I was just really uncomfortable. It was really bad what happened, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to relive that again. I just want to keep moving forward. That could be his answer. And if it is that, I would say leave it at that. Focus on the relationship that you have now and moving that forward. Don't worry about what happened in the past, because obviously he's not with her anymore, you know, so whatever happened there, they're not together. So, I wouldn't worry about him having feelings for her anymore. That's kind of my take on that. Yeah.
If he doesn't want to talk about it, by the way, we have a bird. That's what the chirping is that you're going to hear. If he doesn't want to talk about it, then you don't want to make things worse and to keep digging for it.
Right, because exactly. If you keep digging, you keep asking, eventually he's going to get upset, he's going to get irritated, and it's going to cause stress on the relationship that you have. Mm-hmm. And I don't really see why you would want to create stress on a relationship that's going well and create a problem that isn't there over something that happened in the past. And, I think we kind of come personal, experiences ourselves there. So kind of firsthand advice is that basically, don't drag any bad stuff into your relationship that's really good.
Yeah. What's that song? I think it's that from that movie Frozen. Was it Let It Go? That song. Yes. I think that song should be played, because that's exactly what needs to happen. Let it go. Don't keep trying to bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I do think that, you do need to make sure that you're both communicating really well. Mm-hmm. I know that's something for us because in both cases, I know that if he's dealing with something and, you're not telling me about it and stuff, then, the same thing. I'll get in my head and I start thinking that it's something else and that it's, it's me or who knows what it could possibly be. And, I can go to all sorts of crazy places. So it's
men can too. We're not sitting here going, oh, everything's just fine. No, we're sitting here going, oh, what are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Why are you thinking about them? Why do you want to talk about them? We're the same, even though we don't want to admit it.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
I know a lot of you guys out there don't want to admit it, but you're all liars.
See, there you go, ladies. See, men are just as crazy as we are. Great. Good to know. So, yeah, I think that that's kind of what's happening here, too, is I think that that this woman is kind of getting in her head. She's, going to the bad place, basically, over something that doesn't need to be. And he might not even realize that. He might be sitting there thinking, oh, I told her I don't want to talk about this, and he knows what his reasons are, but because he didn't give her those reasons, he thinks that things are just peachy, and she's over here having a little meltdown because she knows that they're not peachy.
I think if you want to ask him, you should ask him once, and after that, if he doesn't want to talk about it, let it go. Don't ever bring it up again. If he decides to want to talk about it, then let him come to you.
That's good advice. I think sometimes it's kind of hard because we kind of want that answer now. We want everything to be solved. But I think, just like any relationship, as time goes on, you trust people more. You get to know each other more. You're more comfortable with them. I mean, there's things I'll tell you now that I would have never told you, at the beginning of the relationship. Mostly because you probably would have ran away screaming.
Probably.
But, now I can be like, hey, I'm crazy. You should hear what I have to say. But no, I think that really is good advice there. Just, ask him about it. And, if he doesn't want to talk about it, let it be. Let him just take that time until he's comfortable finally telling you what it is. So I think that's probably the best advice.
Yes. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Wow. Okay. So I am Kaylee.
And I'm Jeremiah.
And if you have a question for us, you can just send us a message and check us out at kayleeshadows.com.